So I went on this podcast called The Domino Effect, one episode after Katie Hopkins featured on it. And they shared a clip first called Is Katie Hopkins Racist?
This is my point, is people say, well, they called me a racist, and how can I be when I'm married to a black guy, or better still, or I have black friends, or I went on holiday to the Caribbean. You're like, hell, white person, just shut the up.
But
like that whole, I've got a black something, I just want to go,
my friend's cousin's sister's black, so how can I be racist?
Yeah, or my wife's black. And it's like, no, you really...
Doesn't mean you can't hold internal prejudice, come on.
That, and also, what does it mean? Does it mean you have to have that for you to not be one? Like, so you've got that card, what, you're just going to play it, are you? What do you want me to do?
She basically came to this podcast knowing they're going to ask her about being racist, yeah? And she was ready to say, oh yeah, I'm not going to tell you I've had a black boyfriend to say that I'm not racist, because that's ridiculous. So she already is intelligent enough to know what the kind of typical things racists say that we already call them out for, right? So she's come there and she's tried to work brains. She's doing mind games. So she's subtly saying, yeah, so I used to have a black boyfriend, right? But I'm not going to tell you that's why I'm not racist, even though that's obviously what she's doing just by slipping it in there. And then she's also just trying to show she's on the side of the not racist by kind of breaking it down. But what's interesting is she just then went, oh, so do I need a black friend in order to not be racist? So she's also trying to normalize white people keeping to themselves and us not being able to call them racist. Do you know what I'm saying? Why is she waffling? Yeah, she's waffling because that's what she does. Anyway.
Pop Trump you and say, well, I've got a black baby, so you.
So why do people say you're racist?
I think it's easy to, because that's what people who were seen as conservative or maybe gobby white women like me, or certain things I've said, people say they're racist and then...
No, that's the funniest bit. They're like, why do they think you're racist? She goes, maybe some things that I've said. Like, yeah, maybe my own words. I went on that podcast, right? Literally, that was the week before I went on. The next week, or the next episode, I went on that same
TikTok
podcast.
is back to 50k before we got removed because you lot like to press the report button on bullshit. So that's all coming back.
What was it though? What did
Tommy Robinson.
Oh,
his views on Islam and whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah, he got taken down straight away.
I said, boy, I see he's here. Yeah, fair enough.
Which is mad because the Katie one, they didn't really.
But the Katie one was this like. The support was overwhelmingly nice. But you know what I think? I think people are getting into the style of how we like to communicate. So it's like with Tommy and Katie, there's obviously the controversial aspect of the character, but then it was more about bringing out who is this individual as a human, like where did their thoughts and
this
ideas
is my
come
problem
from.
with them.
That's where the issue is, though. Like, I watched the episode, so I enjoyed it. I didn't watch the. I don't think I watched the Tommy Robinson one because I was around the same time Spray done it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just annoyed at the time. I thought I don't want to watch. I just didn't want to watch it.
He butchered it
because to me, like I enjoyed it still, the Katie Hopkins one, but there's a level where it's like, do I need to normalize who this person is as a person? I don't really care, if I'm honest.
No.
I'm saying, like, and like you're posting questions, and I get the question, and like, is Katie Hopkins racist and stuff like that? Yeah, she is. Like, it's not even a question to me. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying don't sit and talk with her or whatever. And I'm not really a cancel culture person. Yeah. But
the thing for me is always why. So if you know the direct answer objectively, is she racist? Yes. Okay, why? Like, what was it about your development that led you to this path? Because that's when you start to learn intricate aspects to how people.
I asked him if he thinks he achieved that in a minute, which is interesting, and I respect how he responds. But more than that, he's like, he wants to know why they're racist. I agree with working that out, but then what next? Like, work out why they're racist to stop other people being racist and to stop it happening to younger people and stuff, I guess. But I don't see any of these people doing that work.
People develop into these particular types of characters.
That's true. Do you feel you done that in the episode though?
No, not really. I abandoned her a bit too much.
Yeah, that's
I abandoned her a bit too much.
It more come like, like normalizing kind of that she's racist and it's okay. And
at the same time,
or it might come across like we're saying, she's not really racist. It's not really that racist.
Do you know what it was? So like, right. she showed her prejudice. I wouldn't say she showed her racist side. She showed her prejudice towards ideology, specifically Islam.
Yeah.
Then she made examples of how people interpret racism and how that form of racism isn't racism. Like when she made the point of saying that when some like a white person might say, "But my cousin's sister's boyfriend,"
Yeah, but that sounds like she's prepared with the answers for what's going to be said to her. You know what I'm saying? She's like, "Oh, I'm not going to do the usual way out of it. I'm going to work around it."
But see, you know so there was times where I tried to purposely set traps and she just avoided them. I was like, "Do you know, fair enough."
Very good.
But she knows what she does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I couldn't disagree with some of the stuff she was saying because it made logical sense.
Okay.
For me, what I got from her, sitting with, because obviously I was away, so I watched the episode. What I got from it is Katie Hopkins is a racist. We know that she's a racist, and she's also a bigot because when she was asked piercing questions like when she was blaming
and see that,
Sadiq.
I'm so glad these men said that because, like I said, these men are quite right wing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they lean to a lot of these certain things with immigration and stuff like that, but he still knows, right? It was clear it's clear she's a racist and she's a bigot.
Khan's South Asianness on what the shit in London when Eddie posed questions to him and she just hop skipped and it was like, okay, what you're doing, you're just trying to do smoke and mirrors. We can see your racist views, but on the other flip side of that, you go to a pub in Cornwall, you go to a pub in Bath. Yeah. She's no more racist than those guys.
Oh no, they're all racist.
The only difference, no, that's what I'm saying. But like, you know how they paint Katie as like the worst person to ever walk planet Earth. She's a voice for all those racist groups. She's like a martyr for their cause because they would never come on a public station and say it. But these are all the conversations that are getting had in all these places, and she's their martyr. And then they can come on their troll accounts and support her because that's their martyr.
And that's why I respect having the conversation with these people. But I'm just like, it's a careful line to walk, to just not, or to end up normalizing.
I'm gonna leave that there because I think the most important thing that he said right there, right, is, and I mean, it was a bit stating the obvious to me, but it's important to be said for others. It's like, yeah, she's a racist, but she's no more racist than all of these people. And he said they can then go on their troll accounts because they're not brave enough to be that racist. And that's what's happened with this festival, right? They put Katie there at the forefront. She's the one that's going to take all the hits. And then when you start looking at all these other people, Slipmat would never post the kind of things that she says openly. She's the martyr for him. She's the martyr for all the rest of these people. This is from Katie Hopkins being set up. Yeah, she still says what she says. But they set her up that she was going to win an award. She thought she was winning an award for freedom of speech, and this is her acceptance speech.
So yeah, my name is Katie Hopkins. I'm a little bit bothered by her being behind me as well. They say you should never talk about yourself in the third person, but I feel like I'm being third person stood here.
Get on with it, man.
Build a wall, not only a wall high enough so the man breaks its legs when he jumps off the top of it, but a wall that goes subterranean. You know, the Israeli wall goes 8 meters below ground as well, so the little rodents can't bury under it. I remember going...
Hear what she just said? She's talking about building a wall in America, I assume, but she said the Israeli wall goes however many feet underneath so the little rodents can't bury underneath it. Yeah? If we actually go and look at this woman's views on Palestine, like that's not even come into it. I'm saying, and you freedom people, yeah? Are you freedom people not for Palestine? Yeah? All right.
To Trump's inauguration, where I basically stood there going, oh, please let me blow you. You know, we are lost in the UK. In 5 years, we start to become outnumbered, so there are more births to Muslim than to any other. Mohammed and Mohammed are the two most popular names in the UK today. If you call Mohammed in a school playground in the UK, 2,000 fucking kids come running and you don't want any of them. In my country, I am already a minority in Birmingham, Bradford, Luton, Leicester, parts of London, Tower Hamlets, for sure, Newham, other places where people get stabbed a lot or try and rape their own mother or have 5 wives. Those places, I'm already a minority. I will be a minority in my own country. We will be, by 2040, we're gone. People are either moving to Israel, Jewish people are moving to Israel. People like me, we're looking at Poland, Hungary, America. And in America, you see people moving. They're moving out from California. They're going to Texas. They're going to Idaho. They're going to Arizona. And the question always is to those people, and they haven't quite got there yet, is where are you going to go after? Where are you going to go next? And if people say to me they're going to come to the UK, we've got 10 years. We are all looking for what white South Africans are looking for, which is a defendable space from which we will prepare to make a last stand. One of the brilliant things about Boris Johnson getting in, Brexit happening in a couple of days, is that Boris Johnson is fantastic. He's a great, great guy. The other joy will be that we do have Boris Johnson, and when Trump gets in November, we have Boris Johnson and Trump together on the White House. And the great...
Is that what these freedom movements are saying? They want to book a woman who celebrates Boris Johnson. Aren't you guys supposed to be anti-government? No, you look crazy.
The thing with Boris and Trump together is that we have two men who don't really about. They tell it pretty straight. They know where the heart of our country is at. Thank you very much indeed.
Anyway, yeah, that's Katie Hopkins for you. Just to be very clear who Katie Hopkins is, yeah? Katie Hopkins is only famous for being racist. That's why she's famous. She's a famous racist person. When she wrote for The Sun, it was whatever. She was just any journalist. She got famous for being racist. That's literally what she's known for. So there's nobody who knows who Katie Hopkins is who doesn't know she's racist. It's literally the only reason we know her.